Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 89 of the Simply One podcast. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
How we doing, everybody?
We're just a couple of best friends passionate about all things pop culture. If you're looking for lukewarm takes on movies, video games, TV shows, or even the occasional comic, we got the show for you. Got to take a little peek-see here. I think
A little pixie poo?
I got one of our volumes a little too high.
Oh, do you think that's mine?
No, I think I'm just being a sensitive little boy. Neither one of their settings are
Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.
bitch made boy. Neither one of the settings are fouled up. I just feel like I'm loud in my own headset.
I don't think so.
All right. Fuck me then, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Now, this week, we went and saw The Marvels. It's the sequel to, obviously, Captain Marvel from 2019. Kind of serves as a sequel to Ms. Marvel on Disney+. And we get to see a little bit more of Monica Rambeau from WandaVision.
isn't her, like, superhero name, like, Photon or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, they kind of tease it throughout the movie. That, like, they're trying to come up with their name.
Professor Marvel.
Yeah, they're the Marvels. They do. This is one of the movies where they say the title of the movie in the movie. But yeah, it's the only Marvel film to release during the strike, the Hollywood strikes. And I think it's the second Marvel movie this year, maybe technically the third.
What other Marvel movie came out this year?
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man, I think, came out in February.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah, well, it would have been the beginning of the year. If that's what I'm saying. If it came out this year, it was very beginning of the year. But before we get into that, we do have a decent bit of news. Obviously, right off the top, the Hollywood strikes have ended. We don't have full details on the SAG-AFTRA AMPTP agreement, but they have
concluded.
They are, the SAG-AFTRA's negotiating committee has unanimously recommended ratifying the contract that was proposed. I think they're still in the hammering out phase. Everybody that I've seen that is in the business has said we'll probably see details of it end of this month is when we'll get because the lawyers still have to go back and forth on well, I thought we said this. No, it was technically this. Oh, okay, and hammer out the fine
details.
legal this is the contract.
Yeah,
rather than bullet points. But we did have some big news as far as we got an adjustment to the Marvel release schedule. A lot of things have been confirmed, delayed, things like that.
Back it up.
Now with the strike being done, they're like, okay, now we can set a more concrete, here's when things are going to come out. Some news about Disney Plus and Hulu combining. We got the trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, as well as we got an official trailer for Rebel Moon, which ironically was shorter than the teaser trailer that released back at the middle of the summer. We got some actual confirmation of GTA 6.
Yeah.
As well as a little bit of news about when we'll see some footage, potentially. Blade. We got some more info about Blade. Last week we talked about it being a smaller, it's still a large budget, but a smaller budget film for Marvel. And then something that I just thought was a little interesting that I wanted to talk about was there was a little quote that kind of went viral from Jeremy Allen White, who's the star of The Bear, talking about his experience with Marvel. Or I don't even know if it was Marvel, but we'll get into that. And then I think the big news story that's the most recent is we got the Game Awards nominees announced today.
Yep.
With maybe some upsetting snubs in there. So we'll get into that. I figure we start with SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't have much in the way of details on the deal itself because they're still ironing out all those details. But we do got some statements.
Sure.
Let me pull them back up here.
Statement. I barely know her.
Oh!
Beer all week.
See you next week, folks. So, let's see here. The union said by email to their constituents, I guess we'll call them, that we have arrived at a contract that will enable SAG-AFTRA members from every category to build sustainable careers. Many thousands of performers now and into the future will benefit from this work. Let's see here. Kevin E. West, who's a member of the committee, said there were tears of exhilaration and joy in the committee room after the contract was approved. The final vote was unanimous. That's a difficult thing to accomplish. This is still West speaking. He says it's honestly been a really long 2 weeks because they've been back and forth at it for the last 2 weeks of talks resumed, but it was kind of stabby, it sounds like. No, try again, on both sides. The thing that we haven't gotten much detail on is the
AI.
AI was the real sticking point for SAG-AFTRA, which makes me believe that there was at least some. For as hard as the AMPTP was pushing back against SAG, I would be surprised if SAG got everything they wanted in terms of AI, but they had to have gotten something for them to agree to it. I'm sure that it's one that they just ended up having to compromise on if there was going to be a deal. Let's see here. Yeah, because like for here, he says that, this is still Kevin West, says that the deal was not perfect, nothing is, but that getting it to this outcome was an extraordinary moment, or an extraordinary achievement, I apologize. Let's see here. I wanted to get to the AMPTP. Yeah, they issued their statement on Wednesday. This would be last Wednesday, saying that the contract represents a new paradigm. The AMPTP is pleased to have reached a tentative agreement and looks forward to the industry resuming the work of telling great stories. Bob Iger warned that the financial impact of the strike would become more severe if a deal was not reached quickly. Yeah, last week the AMPTP really started to push the narrative of like, we got to reach a deal here.
Yeah.
Where I think they were trying to put pressure on the whole situation, where the public would go, all right, well, if we want movies at all, we got to get a deal going,
Sure.
But also, like we talked about personally, Disney lost like $300 million last quarter just in streaming. And so, all of the companies were finally starting to feel the heat of it, of like, they weren't going to go bankrupt, but, they can't have too long of a gap of no money coming in, especially when the strike, and we might talk about this today, the strike, especially on the actor side, was impacting some of the blockbusters because the actors were not allowed to promote the films. And so a lot of projects kind of got stiffed on that, where a lot of the marketing comes from. Oh, did you see that TikTok of, Iman Vellani talking about how much she loves being in Marvel, and you just didn't get any of that. But I think it's just good that it seems, I would hope that it seems to be a deal that both parties can go, all right, we got what we were after.
Yeah.
I think I talked about it the last time with the writer's strike, but though there's the one writer that I follow on TikTok that said, in a perfect situation, if a negotiation goes well, everybody lost.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be, is we both won some, we both lost some, we met in the middle. But so that's good that both of the Hollywood strikes ended up being the longest strikes in Hollywood history.
Yeah.
The longest writer's strike and the longest actor's strike. And then for them to happen at the same time was pretty
intense.
Yeah, pretty monumental. I do want to veer from that into talking about the updated theatrical release schedule for Marvel. The only Marvel film that we're getting next year is Deadpool 3, which is listed on Marvel's website as untitled Deadpool movie, but I'd be surprised. Maybe they do a subtitle to it. I could see that, it's like elaborating, because it's the strange thing of like,
two, though. They just said
well, no, but Deadpool 1 and 2 were just both under Fox, both made sense.
Now
this is like, now he's in the MCU. We kind of need to convey that, like, yes, it's the same, but it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could see it being like Deadpool 3, or I could see it being like Deadpool kills the Fox universe. I don't know. Something like that. Considering there's the Deadpool kills Marvel is a comic that he's done, I think, like 3 times, where he just goes around and kills everybody in the Marvel comics. And then Captain America Brave New World was previously dated for July 26th of next year and got pushed to February of 2025.
Whoa.
Where apparently it's undergoing extensive reshoots. But without getting into any details or hot water or anything like that, one of the characters in that is an Israeli super soldier. And I'm wondering if, with everything going on in the world, maybe they're going to pare that back some.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just to avoid the
conflict.
Exactly. Thunderbolts, which was another one that was in the middle of filming when everything happened. It got delayed from December of 2024 to July of 25. And then Blade, which was originally supposed to come out in February of 2025, is coming out in November of 2025. Talking about Blade, it has been confirmed that, along with its $100 million budget, which now makes a bit more sense as well, it is confirmed to be rated R.
Oh,
so it's going to be
very excited for that.
Yeah, and so I think, again, between the way that the movies have been going in general, the trouble they've had with Blade particularly, and now they're going to make it rated R, which maybe they went, you know what, I think the only way we sell this thing is if we just go all in and make it rated R.
I think like a big majority of Marvel fans are starting to just get older,
Yeah, they're adults.
right? And so people who have been following everything are
Right.
at least
I
18.
mean, you figure the first Iron Man came out 15 years ago.
Right.
So if you were 10 when that came out, you're 25.
And I bet you that they're probably going to be able to do like a split of like, which we'll talk about later, getting into details, but I could definitely see them kind of breaking off into two different ways of, okay, this is going to be a bit more family friendly,
Right.
and this series is going to be more mature.
Well, and then with the Marvel, what was the Spotlight? Marvel Spotlight being like you don't have to have much prior knowledge to enjoy this. It's a one-off
Right,
thing.
yeah.
They could do
Very
more.
excited for that.
They could do more TVMA stuff with that. Like you figure Echo coming out in January is the first rated R thing, even though it's TV, so it's TVMA.
Yeah.
And it's a Spotlight, so it's not super connected. You don't have to have much prior knowledge, and if you don't see it, it's probably not going to impact your understanding of future Marvel projects.
Sure.
And so it's a good like bubble to put the first R-rated project in. Of like, okay, you don't have to see it if it
Easy
doesn't
there,
work.
Tiger.
I know, I almost vomited.
I saw that.
No, I just had a big old hiccup. The McRib's kicking back. Oh, we didn't even say it. We did get our McRibs.
We got the McRibs.
The McRib is back, baby.
I always overhype it.
Yeah, it's never as good as you remember it. You remember it's a phenomenon.
I do think it's one of those where it's like it will never be as good as it was when I was a kid.
Right, and it probably wasn't that good when you were a kid.
I don't know, man.
It's just the fondness. You know what you miss? You miss how you felt as a kid.
Don't,
not how
you're
it
gonna send me
tasted.
down a don't. Just don't.
It's the nostalgia.
You're gonna.
That's
send
why
me,
nostalgia exists. Is
I hate it. I hate
how
nostalgia.
you felt as a kid.
It's a love-hate relationship with nostalgia. I love it, but then like I start to think about it, and I'm like,
the passage of time.
I'll never have that feeling ever again.
No, but we did get.
I think we should just cut it here, man.
Yeah, we're just kidding. This, we're not doing an episode this week. But no, so next year, we get, like I said, rated R project with Echo, and then Deadpool 3 is going to be a rated R film. That's been confirmed. So it'll be the first Marvel film that's R rated. And then they are committing to making Blade R rated. The director here, Jan Demange, confirmed that it would be joining Deadpool 3 with the strong, pervasive vampire violence and gore language and brief sexuality has been rated R.
I want to see some vampire dick.
He talked to, let's see here, Deadline is who was doing the interview here. And he called the R rating so important. So he says, I come out of this wanting to be more open, more vulnerable, and bring a more personal aspect to my work. But for Blade, we're going to have fun because Mahershala Ali is such a deep actor. I'm excited to show a kind of ruthlessness, a roughness he has that allows him to walk the earth in a particular way, and I love him for that. He's got a dignity and integrity, but there's a ferocity there that he usually keeps under the surface. I want to unleash that a bit and put it on the screen. Yeah, I really like the idea of just showing a dude who's a vampire, who has some of the abilities of a vampire, who, like, he's angry at the world maybe because he is cursed to be the Daywalker. He doesn't belong to either group.
I'm a bit of a daywalker myself.
But no, and it is there. So, quick little aside. Interesting thing about Blade. Until Wesley Snipes was Blade, that is not what Blade was. Blade was, I think, British. Wearing like a pea coat. Wearing like a pea coat with like a popped up collar, and was not half vampire. That was something that they came up with where they were like, all right, how do we give this guy like superhuman abilities?
Sure.
What if we make him? And now that is what Blade is in the comics. So it's one of the few things where like
The movies set the comics.
created something in the comics. Where like
I always thought Blade was a vampire. I didn't know. What
right,
was,
yeah.
was he just a
he was just
dude?
he was just a vampire hunter. Yeah.
Oh, just a vampire. Okay.
Yeah, he was just a vampire hunter. That was his whole deal. And then Blade was like, well, Blade the movie was like, we got to give him powers,
Kind of like Hellboy. I feel like, a bit of a spinoff where he is a demon, but he's a demon hunter.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one that I can think of right off the top of the head is there was a run of Spider-Man comics where he had his own, organic webs as opposed to having web shooters.
Speaking of Hellboy, that movie with, the Hellboy movie with, I'm blanking on his name.
Yep. For some reason, the only name that can come to my mind is fucking John Bernthal, and that's not him at all.
Not.
It's David Harbour.
Yeah. Sucked. We watched it at your old apartment, and we fell asleep watching it. Yeah, we both just crashed. We woke up, and it was like
it's still happening too.
Yeah, we're like,
yeah, that's not a good feeling when you fall asleep during a movie
and you wake up and it's still going.
You're like, fuck. But no, so I'm excited for Blade.
No, I like Blade.
Not
the part where they CGI'd his eyes open, but
yeah, that did happen. We got trailers, like we said, for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Rebel Moon Part 1, which I think it's odd that they're like just releasing them in a Part 1, Part 2. But I'm wondering if like Zack Snyder just made too long of a movie and was like, fuck, let's just split
we got to cut it up.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I feel like movies have been so fucking long lately. Like they're...
But luckily this is a Netflix movie, so you don't have to sit in the theater and go, fuck, it's just still happening. You can pause it and go up and take a piss or get some food, whatever. I want to talk about it first because I'm less excited for it. For Rebel Moon.
I was like, are they making another It movie?
No, not to my knowledge. Just the Welcome to Derry show, which got delayed until like 2025. But we still don't even.
It's almost.
Yeah, it's basically 2024.
I can't.
You'll be all right, man. Time moves, but just fucking freak out. Your hair falls out and your eyes sunk. You just wither away in front of me. No, Rebel Moon. I mean, it looks fine.
I don't really know what it's about. A rebellion.
Yeah, it's basically like.
So what? It's
Star Wars. It's Seven Samurai. It's
the creator.
Well, the creator wasn't original either.
No, but I mean, I don't know. It just feels very like.
And this is.
Didn't we just watch this?
Well, and the creator was like AI and what's it mean to be human kind of thing. This is literally Star Wars. It's in space. There's an empire that you're rebelling against
who look like Nazis.
Yeah, like more so than the empire in Star Wars. Dude came out.
I swear to God, I thought I saw an SS uniform.
Yeah, like he had the fucking the skull. You know.
Yeah, I saw the stash.
But no, I mean it's just basically it is the Seven Samurai thing of like we're assembling a team. The Ungrateful Eight, or not the Ungrateful Eight,
the Hateful Eight.
No, the oh my God. The fucking Western.
Like a Western.
They fucking
come here for a shootout.
Relax. They remade it with fucking Denzel Washington and
the
Chris Pratt. No. That's not a Western.
It's got Denzel Washington in it.
It does, yeah. That very good, buddy. You're right. It is the Equalizer.
That's
You're
what
right.
I wanted to hear.
Damn it. It's son of a bitch. It's a number. It's like not the Ridiculous Six, which was the Adam Sandler comedy version of it, but it was the Magnificent Seven. I didn't even have to look it up. I got it there. Oh, it was tough. I was getting dizzy. But
big brain. And
you figure Magnificent Seven is the Seven Samurai. It's the same story. And that's just all this is we're going to assemble a team of like potentially 7 people who all have specific skills that could potentially be useful in a group and all that, blah, blah, blah. It's a classic, you know. We've all been there. Yeah. Visually, I mean, it looks pretty good as far as like being a Netflix film. It doesn't have like Netflix has started putting a lot of money into their movies,
which is good.
Yeah, and so it doesn't have like oof, that's a green screen, you know, stuff to it. But it does feel like a kind of mid 2000s trailer though, with like the sound design and like the way the music swells and pauses and then they say a quip and then the music kicks back up and
I just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Thankfully it's on Netflix, right? Because I wouldn't buy to go see it.
Yeah, but you would pay $23 a month.
Wow,
which is where Netflix is getting to. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, on the other hand, I think looks pretty good. Yeah. We did get to see Appa. He didn't look bad at all.
Appa?
Yep. And we saw Momo too. Both of them looked really good. I didn't see it in this trailer, but there was I'll have to find it, and we can maybe post it on social. But there was a photo that I saw of Appa, like his face, and it looks really good.
I heard that they did it all practical. They found one.
Yeah, they just
trained him.
They got a bison and put him in the sky, and he just started flying, which was weird. They really just thought
they got him all on cords and shit like that.
No, they just got him on a trebuchet. You eat them, and they're just fucking filming them real quick. Got a drone flying behind them. And they're like, all right, get the next one up there. Just got like
at the
30.
end of the movie, there's just like a huge like rest in peace, and it's just a bunch of names of bison.
320 name long list of bison that they yeeted. They painted white and threw in the sky.
What was it? Not bison. Was it bison? Buffalo.
The American buffalo.
The American buffalo that they hunt.
Yeah, that we hunted to basically extinction.
Basically.
You got the mountains of skulls. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. It's the American way, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Roll up, go, hey, nice spot.
Thanks.
Leave, and then kill all the bison.
That's how we roll.
Yep.
U.S. of A.
But eagle screech. Anyways, no, I think everybody, we didn't hear any real spoken lines other than
A little bit of Uncle Iroh.
yeah, but everybody looks good. Like
Yeah.
to see them in motion.
Yeah.
Like especially Sokka didn't look bad at all.
Seeing Aang it was just a snippet, but just flying on his glider. I was like,
Yeah. Oh wait. And yeah, I mean it feels right. I do wonder. Like everybody keeps seeing it listed as live action, but not. Like, is it a series or is it a movie? Because this didn't even say, like in the like episodes airing. You know what I mean?
I thought it was a movie.
I would think a series would be your way to go.
I agree. I think trying to cram all of that into a movie is going to be tough.
Yeah, well, and because it also seems like this is just book one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It did focus heavily on. I felt like the.
You got it.
Oh my God, the Earth Tribe, not the tribe, but
Well, the Water Tribe is.
well, yeah, that's the first one. But I feel like we don't see a whole lot of the Water Tribe.
We don't really see a whole lot of anybody other than
We see the castle for the,
for a
Earth.
second. Yeah,
which looked banging.
yeah.
Did you see how like for the front gates you have to be able
Yeah,
to?
you have to be able to open it manually with your own bending. But no, because like I want to see Toph, but I don't think she shows up until book 2, which is when they do earth bending. And then
I want to see them toes, dude. Let me see them dogs.
because is there just the 3 books? Because he already knows air bending, then he learns water bending, then earth bending, and then fire bending.
And then that's when it ends. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because book 3 is when they get
Heavy.
Zuko on there. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know what?
Seeing Zuko's bald ass head, bro.
He has the, are we the baddies? You know?
Are we the baddies?
And I like how willing Uncle Iroh is to just be like, yeah, this is all fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, Uncle Iroh's ahead of the curve.
I feel like he was waiting for it. And
Yeah.
He just needed someone else.
But yeah, I do like the thought that maybe they'll intercut more like, here's what's going on with the Fire Kingdom, here's what's going on with that. You know what I mean? Like, that we might get a second shot at, well, what's some stories that maybe we didn't look at last time or things like that. I do know that the original creators were involved in this and then left at some point.
Ooh.
So I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look bad.
No.
It seems like it's made with love, as far as like faithfulness to the original.
Yeah.
Just from a visual standpoint. But yeah, with the original creators being on board and then dipping, that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
But fuck, I mean,
What are you gonna do?
fuck it, you know.
Man, fought it.
Fuck it. Maybe they wanted to make some changes from the original, and the original creators were like,
nah.
well, no. And it's like that thing of like, well, it's the same as like live action Lion King.
You gotta have some.
You gotta have something different
something.
to justify. Otherwise, just watch the original.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll figure it out when we see it and go, oh, that's not good. Or go, oh, actually, you know what? Gas. No, and then the thing that I just want to talk about with Jeremy Allen White, he talked about, it kind of brought up a good point of like, apparently he met with someone for he said, Marvel-y role. And it didn't go well, where apparently he kind of went in there. He's being, I guess, I don't want to say gracious, but he's taking the blame for the scenario. When, honestly, the way he describes it, I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah.
Sounds like he went in and he says, he goes, I approached the execs with an attitude of, tell me about why I should do your movie. And they were like, fuck you. He went on, and I was like, right on.
Right on.
All right. But I don't think that's honestly a bad attitude of like,
I mean, you do. That's what you do for a job. Like, tell me why I should work here.
yeah, do you have any questions? You know, I mean, part of the job interview is you're selling the job.
Yeah.
Why do I want to do your job?
Yeah. Why do I want to play this role?
Yeah.
You know?
Sell it to me. And if they're like, yeah, fuck you, you should be asking to be in our movie. You know what I mean?
So, yeah,
and he kind of brought up this point of like, I can't find the exact quote in his statement here, or in the interview here. It was with GQ. Let me go to the actual article. Because he brought up a decent point of like, why did, like, since when did being in a Marvel movie be the pinnacle of someone's career? of like, boom, you made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, but
I don't think so.
But oftentimes, well, but it is, because a lot of times you're like, he deserves to be in a Marvel. Why isn't this person in a Marvel movie? You know, get him in a Marvel movie. Or like when you get that person in a Marvel movie, you're like, yes, now they're in Marvel. And I do think some of it's like the money and the fame.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's kind of a cop out. Like you're doing it for money.
yeah, and most of the time, like, I mean, I've enjoyed Marvel, but Marvel's rarely like pushing boundaries. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to like writing and acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to a Marvel movie to be like, fuck, they were acting in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to find his exact words. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that was the sentiment basically. It was like, why is that the end all be all?
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't disagree with him.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be anymore. But we'll get to the meat and taters here. Not quite the Marvels yet, but Grand Theft Auto 6
Yes.
was confirmed by Rockstar finally on their Twitter, where they say, let me get their full statement pulled up here.
Did they say something along the lines of like early December we'll be seeing some like footage?
Yeah.
Did they specify it's like a specific date?
No.
No.
But the Game Awards, which we're getting ready to talk about, is on December 7th.
Okay.
And they said early December.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad to be like, bang, there's the trailer, you know? So here's the message from Rockstar. They say next month marks the 25th anniversary of Rockstar Games. Thanks to the incredible support of our players worldwide, we have had the opportunity to create games we are truly passionate about. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we're so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us. In 1998, Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment, and we hope that we have created games you love in our efforts to be part of that evolution. We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto. We look forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with all of you. Thank you, Sam Hauser.
Wouldn't it be some shit if they like drop the
Just
trailer
GTA 5.
and then just at the end they go 2027?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be 2025 at the latest.
Least.
Or like, yeah, late 2025.
It's gonna fucking blow, dude.
It's just, games are so expensive and long to make anymore. That's the hard part, is like, this game is allegedly from some of the, like, I just completely lost the name of the, Bloomberg. I could not think of the publication. Bloomberg was putting it in like the potentially approaching $1 billion budget to create.
Whoa.
And it's like, games are just getting expensive as hell, especially large games, you know. And, you know, when you're putting 7 years into it, I mean, look at like a Starfield, you know. How long was that in development?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now you're going to wait for another 7 years for us to make another one, you know, or, you know, another thing like it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you figure that's why you get into a situation with like fucking Modern Warfare 3 allegedly took 16 months to produce. Or to develop, the most recent one. The campaign was like 3 hours long, and apparently it was ass. And the multiplayer is basically an expansion pack. And everybody's pretty bitter about it, understandably.
Yep.
And it's that thing of like, apparently the current setup was like typically a Call of Duty campaign or a Call of Duty game is on a 3-year development cycle. And this was done in half that time. And it's like, yep, it feels it. You know, and so that's pretty upsetting because I enjoyed the remake, the first one.
I just want to see a BO1 remake, dude.
Yeah, give us Black Ops.
Give me Mason, Mason and Woods,
I thought you were
dude.
going to say Mace Windu. Give us
Give me
Mace
Mace
Windu.
Windu in there.
Like, what?
No, give me Mason and Woods, bro. Like their chemistry and like Woods himself. What's his first name?
Frank?
Frank Woods. Yeah. Frank Woods, dude. He's a fucking beast. And then to find out in the second one that he didn't even die.
Yep.
I remember as a kid, I remember crying when Woods died. I did.
I can see it.
Literally jumps out the window with those grenades. There goes my hero.
You're like, my God.
That's fun, man.
Oh, my God. No, I did want to mention, I forgot to swing it in there. If you know what I'm saying. Disney Plus and Hulu are combining early next year.
Monopoly.
Not really. You've got Netflix. You still got Netflix, HBO Max, Peacock, all that. You've got options.
How long is it until Disney started buying them up?
Right. Well, they did get. They are buying out Hulu's portion of of Hulu. Did I say Hulu? Fox's. No. Whose? Who is the other person? Fuck me. NBC Universal. That's the one. Their stake of Hulu to just be the sole owner, which is why they're now able to
stream it,
wrap them up together. Because they've had the majority ever since they bought Fox. Because I think it was like them, Fox, and NBC basically. And when they bought Fox, they're like, well, guess what? We get your shares. And now they're the sole owner, and so they're wrapping it all up into one app. And Morgan was like, oh, good, so we don't have to pay for both. I was like, well,
we'll be paying for it.
We'll be paying for both.
Just maybe on one price tag.
But yeah, sorry, I got really confused there. Yeah, so Comcast's remaining stake in Hulu was being bought up for roughly $8.5 billion by Disney.
Chump change.
And now it is going to be wrapped up into Disney Plus. And so the one app experience will be available to those who subscribe to the Disney Plus Hulu bundle. Currently, Disney offers the bundle of Disney Plus and Hulu with ads for $9.99 per month and one without ads for $19.99 per month. The platforms will still be available separately after the launch of the combined app. That's different. But yeah, so neat, I guess. Now into the thing that I'm kind of excited to chat about. Let's see here. Game of the Year nominees. We'll just do. You just want to start with the big dog?
Just hop in.
Yeah, Game of the Year nominees: Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder?
Mm-hmm. That's in there. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
Nope, didn't hear about it.
No
Starfield.
No Starfield.
Nope. And it is meant to be pointed out. Jeff Keighley, who runs the Game Awards, always makes the point before the day before the nominations come out. He has no sway in the nominations. He's not allowed to vote. It's actually voted on by the industry, where like they get a hold of, I think it's something like 200 and some companies of like publications, whether they be magazines, reporters, things like that, other game companies and developers and things like that. And they all vote on these are the games. They kind of do it similar to like the Oscars, you know, where it's the Academy and nominating and voting. And they voted that these 6 should be the contenders. So
it's a bit out there. Spider-Man, sure, but well, okay, so Tears of the Kingdom, yes. Spider-Man, yes. Baldur's Gate, yes. Well,
Alan Wake 2.
Okay, I haven't played that much of it, so I really don't know.
Yeah,
that's not my realm.
I've really been enjoying it, and everything I've heard so far of like the people that fully played it is like, oh shit, this is going to be a Game of the Year
I have
nominee.
been seeing a bunch of stuff about it on TikTok.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake, it came out at the beginning of the year, and it got a ton of gas.
Yeah, because they added a bunch of new stuff to it too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did a very good job of modernizing it.
Yeah.
And then, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is the only one that I didn't hear anything about.
What's it on?
I have no idea.
Well,
I'm assuming
Nintendo, of course.
the Switch,
but,
yeah.
Like, is it like a Super Mario World Galaxy style?
I don't know, man. You're asking me, but I don't know.
Mario Bros. Party?
I don't know, my man. But apparently it was more worthy of a nominee than Starfield, according to the gaming industry.
That speaks volumes.
Best Game Direction, which is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Do you think I can get a refund on Starfield? I haven't played that much of it.
You might be past your window of time.
Okay.
Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I want to play Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I haven't.
This is kind of what happens every year is you get games that the reason they are Game of the Year contenders is because they're also contenders for these others. You know what I mean? The thing that makes it Game of the Year worthy is the same thing, that it's the building blocks. And so then you run into Best Narrative. So a game that focuses more on storytelling.
Baldur's Gate's going to win that.
Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, which apparently was a very good expansion. Final Fantasy 16, and then Spider-Man 2. Let's see, art direction. So creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Alan Wake 2, something called Hi-Fi Rush. Lies of P, that was the Pinocchio, like, Soulsborne type game.
Oh, yeah.
Which apparently was pretty good if you're into a Soulsborne type of game. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Score and music. Exactly what it sounds like. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Final Fantasy will probably take that. They always got pretty intense music going on.
Yeah, but I could see. I mean, Alan Wake 2, they did a bunch of actual.
They did. Like they made their own music,
full songs, like pop songs and things like that.
And I heard that one song when I was playing. It was
good.
It was jazzy,
yeah, pretty banging. But then also Baldur's Gate 3 has some incredible score to it.
Does it?
Yeah. Or like I'll find myself humming it, and I'm like, what song do I have in there? And then I'm like, oh, that's Baldur's Gate. That's a character creation menu.
When we're playing Civ and stuff.
It's super intense. Let's see here. In-game audio and sound design. So, as far as like, oh man, the gunshots, the hearing the stomps on the floor, the sounds of tearing up monsters or whatever, Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, the remake, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 remake, and Hi-Fi Rush. So yeah, I mean, we're coming down into, this is the one that I was interested in because there haven't been any this year that I like really jumped out at me. Best performance. So it's awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16, Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
I think Jedi Survivor's not in the running.
No. Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077. Melanie LeBird for Alan Wake 2. I believe that's the woman that plays Saga Anderson.
Okay.
Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know which one Neil Newborn is. I'll have to look that up. Yuri, can you look this name up? Neil, Neil, Newborn. So it's like newborn with a no R.
He is the voice of Carl Heisenberg, Karlheisenberg.
In Baldur's Gate 3?
Yes. Who voices... Oh, JK. Taran?
Astarion.
Bingo.
Gotcha.
Taran.
Who's not
Taran
been there.
ass, you know?
And then Yuri Lowenthal he plays Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. Let's see. The next one that I wanted to look at, just to get us through here. Best community support. So this is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates, patches. So basically, we heard you. We're going to fix that. Or, hey, we're going to help you out with this or whatever.
Sure.
Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, it's had like 10 patches already. And it was a game that didn't really need much patching at launch. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. I could see them giving it to that one because it was basically like...
It was a stinker when it came out.
Hey, here's what the game was supposed to be. Destiny 2, I don't see it winning this year. After the way Bungie went, oh, you guys don't like this? Fuck you then. We're firing everybody. No Man's Sky is always up there, and it wins a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's won this award like 4 years in a row. And then Final Fantasy 16. The last one here. Yeah, the last little section here. The genres. So, best action game. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. That just came in and left. I forgot that it even exists.
What was it?
The Armored Core. That's the mech where it was from the same people that made Elden Ring from Software.
Oh, yeah.
Dead Island 2. That's another one that kind of came and went. Ghost Runner 2. Another one kind of came and went. Hi-Fi Rush. I hadn't even heard of it. Remnant 2.
Never heard of it.
Best action adventure game, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I hope Jedi Survivor wins that, but I don't think
they're going to.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Best RPG. Here you go. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. I think that's Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate's taking that home.
Yeah, considering only one of those on that list is in Game of the Year territory.
Yeah.
And it's Baldur's Gate.
Or they could do what they did last year with Elden Ring, where they gave everything to God of War, and then Elden Ring
swept, or swooped in. Best fighting game: God of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2,
Bingo,
Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6. And then you get into your best like multiplayer games, which I'm not too super pooped about. But yeah, I mean that's like I said, you get into your major. Most anticipated game, which is the game that you're most anticipated about next year. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth about that, man.
I'm excited for it. And then best adaptation. So celebrating game-inspired projects across entertainment, including TV, movies, comics, and more. Castlevania Nocturne. I think that was an anime.
Okay.
Gran Turismo was the movie. The Last of Us. I think it's going to be The Last of Us. Super Mario Brothers, the movie, and Twisted Metal. I don't think it's the movie Super Mario Brothers. It was not better than the Last of Us TV show.
Peach.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
Jack Black could get the whole hog, dude.
Whoa.
I just like his. I'm not going out there like this. He's dressed up as Bowser, and you can just see his fucking dick, and they had to blur it on TV.
Couldn't be me. All right. You want to talk about the Marvels?
Yep.
All right.
Schedule one song
only. You got a
No,
fucking synopsis? You don't know what this movie was about?
This movie was about.
Fuck, what was the movie about?
Fuck. Basically, Captain Marvel trying to fake a bunch of shit.
All right. So Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. Basically what you said.
That's what I said, right?
Is there an echo in here? What is this?
We're not talking about the TV show. Bingo.
Boom. So, Yahtzee. Gang, gang. So on allegedly a budget of $220 million, it did about $109 million worldwide.
Ooh.
Yeah. Opening was about $46 million domestic. The lowest Marvel film debut ever. But as we talked about at the top, it's the only film released by Marvel during the strike, and I think it's feeling the heat of it. Mm-hmm. You know, because they were quick with it. As soon as the strike lifted, they had fucking Brie Larson on Jimmy Fallon, like Friday night, trying to get some people to go see the Marvels on Saturday and Sunday. But also, I feel like it wasn't advertised very heavy.
I didn't see too much about it.
Usually, you would have they would ramp up advertising.
Dude, normally, it's fucking it'll blow over Instagram. That's all I'll see for like a week.
Not with this one, which is so surprising because the first movie crossed $1 billion. Captain Marvel did, and this one does not look like it's going to do that. No. Which, without getting into too much, I think is a shame. I don't think it deserves to be. You know, without saying too much about what I thought of the movie itself, I don't think it deserves to be the worst performing Marvel film. There's definitely been worse Marvel movies. But all of that to say, it did get. I don't think I'm in the minority either, because on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 62, which is not the lowest reviewed Marvel film, but the audience gave it an 84. Which is a pretty favorable, basically that means if you're an audience member, there's an 84% chance you're going to like this movie.
I feel like Marvel's starting to become what Star Wars is, where Marvel's fans are also their hardest critics.
Yes. And unfortunately, there is a certain subset of nerdom that wants this movie to fail.
Yeah. Woman actors?
Yeah.
No!
I saw a bunch of girls in it, huh?
That's not manly.
And 2 of them are not white. What's this world coming to?
What, they're not sexualized?
Yeah, wait a minute. Why doesn't she have a fucking diamond cut out in her chest where I can see her cleavage? You're like, that is what comics used to be, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Their suits just had a big fucking boob window in them. And you're like, perfect.
Excellent.
Or like I said, in the 90s, they used to draw girls, first of all, with a waist about as big around as my calf, and then just triple D breasts, and an ass that won't quit, and they managed to draw them in a way that both are visible in a single pose.
Yeah.
How are you seeing their donk and their chest in the same? It's like she's twisted around,
Yeah.
But they've kind of gone away from that, thank God.
Good.
But all of that to say, what do you think about it? What are your spoiler-free plot thoughts?
As far as the plot goes, the continuity was there. I feel like everything.
Oh, this was also brisk. It was like 97 minutes.
It really wasn't that long.
No.
But I felt like the continuity of it, like it started at one point and everything had a purpose in it. Yeah. I didn't feel like I was watching it and going, why is this here?
Yeah, why are we doing this?
There was points in the movie where I was like, I get the bit, but it's going on for a bit long. Yeah. In which we'll dive into that in a bit. No pun intended. You'll be here till next week.
I did think this was a funnier Marvel movie
than I thought so it was too. Be. And I got there's one fucking reason for that too. Fucking Nick Fury.
Yeah,
Nick Fury.
Sam Jackson was very funny.
He killed that. But also on the flip side,
and also Kamala's family.
Yeah.
The cons were, but I mean, also in her show,
They were very funny, and
I think Iman Vellani and Nick Fury were the core of this movie.
yeah.
I like that I name her by the actress, and then him is just Nick Fury. But no, Sam Jackson and Iman Vellani, I think, carried this movie.
Yeah. But no, like no plot holes or nothing like that. Everything felt very flowing in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did open up a couple of questions of and I guess it's one of those things where it's so hard to come back from, of like Captain Marvel in Infinity War,
Yeah.
and Endgame, like she's this badass beast that came out of the fucking blue, smashing through Thanos' ship. How do you just like?
Yeah, it's the strange thing of like you've got the power scaling.
Yeah, like how do you tone that back without going like that's way too easy for Captain Marvel. She should be able to blow through this.
Yeah.
No problem.
I guess the only thing I could think in terms of like, without getting into details, maybe she's pulling a Spider-Man and is holding back on some people because it'd be easy to like kill people by accident if she just fully went for it. You know what I mean? But as far as her taking hits,
we'll talk about it in spoilers.
Yeah.
I want to touch back on that.
yeah.
But what about you? What do you think about characters and chemistry?
Well, like I was saying, I think Iman Vellani.
Yeah,
her as
we touched up on that.
Yeah, her Kamala Khan, she fucking kills it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a perfect pick for playing someone who, like, I did really like that. I'll spoil it a little bit because it's the very beginning of the movie. The intro to the movie is very much like her series. It's her doodling, drawing comics like she does, and her voice acting the full comic out of like, this is me being Ms. Marvel, meeting Captain Marvel, and saving the day, and then like her carrying her, you know, Ms. Marvel, do you know how to fly? No, I don't. And then her just carrying her, and her starry-eyed looking at Captain Marvel. She plays that role of
being a fangirl.
Yeah, and it's that thing of like, they did the same thing with Kate Bishop in in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Of like, this world has existed long enough that you have young adults that can look up to the heroes in their world. Yeah, exactly. And then be inspired to be heroes themselves.
Which we'll talk about. Pin that, because I don't want to forget that. But there is a point I want to talk about in spoilers.
Write it down.
But continue.
And then Nick Fury. He was a strange part of this where it didn't feel like he had much to do.
Yeah,
in a strange way.
I felt he was more as a comic relief than anything else, which is, I mean, not a bad thing per se,
Yeah.
but it was a bit like, come on, it's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He's got to have mind on something. He's got to be up to something. He can't. It
Right,
felt like in this he was just cruising. Like he wasn't up to nothing.
Yeah, well, but I guess in a way of maybe his role